In light of the recent attacks in Paris, France, Hoboken Council President Ravi Bala asked Hoboken Police Chief Kenneth Ferrante on his efforts to keep the city safe, including working closely with New Jersey Homeland Security.
But being an international city, close to the most populous international city, or one of, New York City, I was just wondering if you had given some thought about what the police department can do in terms of liaising with the New Jersey Department of Homeland Security, as well as any public outreach.
We work with them already. We'll be happy to hear. I have, when I became chief, I appointed two officers, Lieutenant General Jack Belli and Sergeant William Vera, to be liaisons to the counterterrorism task force, both with the Department of Homeland Security of New Jersey and New York, and the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force in New York. And the prosecutor's office also has liaisons. Immediately, once we got word about 5:30 on Friday night, reached out to Lieutenant Jack Belli. He was immediately talking to the higher ups there. We get daily notices every single day. Anything that the two liaisons feel the rest of the officers need to know, some that just administration needs to know, it gets passed on. They're in meetings several times a month. I went to Commissioner Bratton has a group called the Century Conference, which was held last Monday and Tuesday. County Prosecutor Suarez was also there, as was Chief Griffin, he's actually the head of the County Chiefs Association. And we were there on, amazingly, Monday and Tuesday, and we went for about 5 hours of lectures from people from around the country, covering a lot of different terrorism areas. It's a Century Conference on counterterrorism. We've been very aggressive with that. Any bulletins at anything in this region, we begin to act on. So we are very, very proactive daily with that. So.
Can we just ask if the cameras that were supposed to be installed along the waterfront, and they had some issues with the vendor, are they up and operational?
There are 6 that are on, but they're not in operation yet because of, we want to set a policy on how they can be reviewed, who uses them. When we saw them up and running about 2-3 weeks ago, I had issued with some of them, so we actually have the vendor that's going to come in next Tuesday. I just talked to the director about this before the council meeting tonight. I would love to have a lot more cameras than 8. We explore different things. But
yeah, I thought we had approved more. We wanted to make sure that events that have occurred on waterfront and other areas, like the parks, we were asking for cameras surrounding each park.
Right, and what we've done is we've rolled sort of the technology of what are our best options into the public safety engineering contract that was actually recently awarded. We have the kickoff call on that contract coming up on Monday, and part of their scope is to give us a migration path for the communications of the police department in terms of radio, but we also put the CCTV program into that as well. So we're looking for sort of the best strategy in terms of enhancing the use of cameras in the city. So we have some prioritized locations that are the highest priorities of the police department, but then we have a list of other locations that we're going to, at least having a discussion.
Hoboken's 2nd Ward Councilwoman Beth Mason was not happy to find out about the non-operational cameras.
I'm a little disappointed that as a council member, we're finding this out piecemeal. We as a board here, as part of the city that is supposed to allocate dollars for these kinds of things, I don't understand how come we wouldn't have been called and said, okay guys, we got a problem, let's sit down, let's talk about how we're going to fix it.
The 8 cameras that when I became...
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Really hard
I share your feelings on it. When I was named chief last October, I learned December we're going to have cameras up and running. I was like, okay. It was only 8, and it was for a port security grant, which was about $150,000-$200,000. There were so many issues with reception, with technical issues that were beyond our control. And that's why delayed a lot of this coming out that it wasn't up online until a couple weeks ago. This was something that was planned since 2013, and
It's just.
I learned the expense of what it takes to
I mean,
get a
personally,
receivership
this
census.
is the kind of thing when I want to sit here as an elected official and say, well, wait a minute. We put all this money in there, we've done all this stuff. I'm like, how in the world did that come about? I'm glad we're starting to find out and put that together, so I give you credit for that. But I'm sitting here going, well, wait a minute, there's a mess in the back of this that needs cleaning up.
According to Director Wiest, with the recently awarded public safety engineering contract, talks about the needed advanced technology and a strategy of finding locations for the cameras, as well as the number of cameras that will be placed around the city, will begin on Monday, November 23rd. Hudson County View, the eye of the community.